Today, we're taking a look at something that's, well, woven into pretty much every aspect of how you live now. Technology.
Right.
It's this incredible force. And as you probably feel too, it's both a massive benefit and, honestly, a real puzzle to navigate in modern life.
Definitely.
So we're diving into the core of a really thought-provoking discussion on this. It was a podcast episode called The Two Sides of Technology, a blessing and a challenge from the modern mind.
That's right. And in that episode, the hosts, Emma and Jordan, they really explored the many ways technology shapes our world. Our goal with this deep dive is to take their insights, really get to the heart of what they were saying and give you a clear and well-rounded understanding.
Yeah, help people feel informed, right? Not
Yeah,
just lost in the noise.
exactly. Informed and in control without getting sort of swept away by the constant flood of information and opinions out there about tech.
Okay, so let's start with the good stuff. When we look at this, what are the genuine wins? What did Emma and Jordan really point to as the clear positives?
Well, a big one that stood out is connection. Definitely connection.
How so?
Think about it. You can see and talk to family, colleagues, whoever, across the globe, like instantly.
Video calls, messages.
Yeah, all of that. Social media, too. As Emma pointed out, it's fundamentally changed how we stay in touch. It really has made the world feel smaller, hasn't it?
It has. But it makes you wonder sometimes, doesn't it, about the quality of that connection, even with all these tools.
That's a really interesting point. And Jordan brought up something powerful related to that, the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine going through lockdowns without that immediate ability to connect?
It's hard to picture, honestly.
And it wasn't just social stuff, was it? It was how so many people accessed, groceries, other essentials online.
Absolutely. It just highlights how deeply embedded it is now in everything.
It really does. It makes you think about how resilient we are because of it, but also
Can be a little too reliant sometimes.
perhaps, yeah. And what's fascinating, too, is how it's opened doors to so much information.
Oh, the access is incredible.
Emma's analogy, having a supercomputer in our pockets, that's so true for you, for everyone. The sheer amount of knowledge you can pull up right now is just mind-boggling.
It really is. But, with all that info flooding in, how do you even sift through it? How do you know what's actually reliable?
That's the challenge, isn't it? But think about the skills Emma mentioned.
Right. Things you can just learn online now.
Exactly. If you've ever wanted to learn coding or pick up Spanish or play the guitar.
Or fix your washing machine.
Yeah, even practical stuff like that. Chances are there's a tutorial or a whole course right there for you.
It's amazing access. But, I don't know, does it change how we value learning when it's so disposable?
Maybe. That's worth thinking about. And if we zoom out a bit, the progress in healthcare is just remarkable. For you, for patients everywhere.
Jordan talked about that, right?
Things like robotic surgeries, the precision they offer now is incredible.
Right.
And wearable devices, constantly monitoring your heart rate, blood sugar, things like that.
Yeah, my watch does that.
See? It's not science fiction anymore. It's happening now.
Yeah.
Directly impacting people's health and lives.
It almost becomes something we just expect, you
Yeah.
know? Take it for granted, like how tech has also totally changed the workplace.
Oh, absolutely. Jordan talked about how automation, digital tools, AI, they've just sped everything up across so many industries.
Like data analysis.
Data analysis, logistics management, and of course, making remote work a real widespread possibility for so many of you.
For sure. But it does make you consider the long-term effects, right, on the types of jobs that will be available down the line.
That's a critical question, definitely something for you to think about for your own career and just the economy in general.
Yeah.
And building on that idea of access, Jordan also really emphasized e-learning, how it's changed the game in education.
Making it more accessible.
Exactly, providing opportunities for people maybe in rural areas or those facing economic hurdles who might not have had access to quality education before. That feels like a real step towards, greater fairness.
So, okay. It's clear technology has brought some incredible benefits. Faster, more connected, genuinely better in many ways for you. But
There's always a but.
yeah, as Jordan really pointed out, there's definitely another side to this coin. Let's delve into some of the downsides, the growing concerns they discussed.
Absolutely. And a major one Emma highlighted is just how easily we get distracted now and how, reliant we've become.
You mean like constantly checking the phone?
Yeah, that feeling. You probably recognize it, right? The constant phone checking, getting caught in those endless notification loops.
Or falling down a rabbit hole of bad news? Doom scrolling.
Exactly. Doom scrolling. It's like we're constantly plugged in, but somehow still feel disconnected from what's actually happening right around us.
It's so true. And Jordan really hit on something with social media. It connects you, sure, but
But it can also seriously ramp up anxiety, right? That FOMO fear of missing out.
totally. And the comparison trap. Seeing those perfect curated versions of everyone else's lives, it can really take a toll on your self-esteem.
It really can. Have you ever felt that pressure yourself to present a certain image online?
I think most people have, haven't they? To some extent.
And what's interesting, or maybe worrying, is how these platforms are often designed to keep you hooked, sometimes at the cost of your mental well-being.
Yeah. And that brings up privacy, which Emma mentioned. That's a huge one.
Crucial. Think about how much data you're sharing, often without fully realizing the extent of it.
All those app permissions.
Exactly. Your location, your contacts, your browsing habits, even like your sleep patterns if you use certain apps.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Who actually has all this information and what are they doing with it?
That's the question. And Jordan touched on a really significant economic worry, too. Jobs.
Automation replacing people.
That potential, yeah. While new tech often creates new kinds of jobs, there's a legitimate concern that as machines get more efficient, more cost-effective,
A lot of existing jobs could just disappear.
it's a real possibility. Definitely something for you to consider as you think about the future job market, the skills needed.
And this connects to another point Emma made, the digital divide,
Right. Super important to remember that not everyone is experiencing these tech benefits equally.
because they don't have the access.
Exactly. Many people still lack stable, reliable internet access or computers or even smartphones, and that can create even bigger gaps, bigger inequalities for you, for society.
And the mental health impacts seem to be growing more apparent, too, for so many of you.
Definitely. Jordan mentioned things like rising burnout, screen fatigue.
And loneliness, which seems so strange, right? We're all supposedly hyper-connected.
It's a paradox, isn't it? It makes you think that maybe the kind of connection matters much more than just the quantity of it.
Yeah.
And then if we take another step back, look even bigger picture, the environment.
Oh, right, Emma brought that up, the carbon footprint.
Yeah, it's significant. All the infrastructure that powers our digital lives, the servers, those massive data centers.
Manufacturing the devices, getting rid of old ones.
E-waste. E-waste, exactly. And the energy consumption, it all has a real impact on the planet that you live on.
Wow. Okay, so it's a really complex picture, isn't it? Upsides, downsides, competing forces. So with all this, how do we even start to find a healthy way forward, a healthy way to live with technology?
That's the million-dollar question.
Emma and Jordan had some really insightful thoughts on finding that balance, didn't they?
They did. And Emma's core idea that technology is fundamentally a tool, I think that's so important for you to remember.
Like her analogy with fire.
Exactly like the fire analogy, it can be incredibly helpful, right? Providing light, warmth, energy, or
It can be destructive if you're not careful.
precisely, its impact really depends entirely on how you choose to use it.
And Jordan really echoed that, stressing how vital it is to find that sense of balance.
It's not about, completely rejecting technology or going off the grid.
No, probably not realistic for most people.
Not at all. It's more about becoming aware, really aware of how you're using it, and developing healthy habits so that it actually enhances your life.
Instead of becoming like an escape from it.
Exactly. Instead of becoming a way to avoid life, what are some ways you've tried to find that balance in your own life? It makes you reflect, doesn't it?
It does. And I liked Emma's point about using it actively for positive things.
Yes. That's a really powerful shift in thinking for you. Using it to create something, maybe art, maybe writing.
For sharing knowledge, helping others.
Right. Sharing knowledge, helping people, promoting freedom, rather than just getting sucked into patterns of isolation or that endless comparison game or just zoning out.
That's a really helpful way to reframe your relationship with it, I think.
Definitely.
And they didn't just leave it at the big ideas, did they? They also offered some really practical, hands-on tips for all of us.
Yeah.
And on how you can actually cultivate that healthier relationship.
Exactly. Concrete, actionable steps that you can try, like setting limits on your screen time.
Even starting small with that can help, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It can make a noticeable difference in your focus, your overall sense of well-being. Have you ever tried using those built-in timers on your phone? They can be quite revealing.
Yeah. Sometimes depressingly revealing. And the idea of regularly unplugging, that resonated too.
Yeah, having meals where phones are just put away, or maybe having entire days, or even just evenings where you intentionally disconnect.
It seems simple, but it can be surprisingly effective, can it?
Yeah,
Helps you reconnect with yourself, with the people physically around you,
it really can. And the point about using technology for your personal growth, that's key for you.
instead of just passive scrolling.
Right. Actively seeking out educational content,
Yeah.
listening to informative discussions like this one, hopefully.
Or learning those new skills online we talked about earlier.
Exactly. That can really shift how you engage with it, make it more purposeful.
And being mindful of your privacy settings too, and just what you choose to share online. That's
Mm.
also so important.
It's about you taking control, isn't it? Taking control of your digital footprint rather than just sort of blindly accepting the default settings on everything.
Have you ever actually gone through and reviewed those settings on your main apps? It can take time, but
It's probably worth doing periodically, yeah.
and finally, the idea of just practicing kindness online, using these really powerful platforms in a constructive way.
Yeah, choosing to be supportive, positive, rather than adding to the negativity. It seems basic.
But it has a real ripple effect, doesn't it, on the whole online environment
Yeah.
for everyone, including you.
Absolutely.
So, okay, to kind of wrap this up, this deep dive into the modern mind's conversation, it really highlights that technology is this incredibly powerful force in your life. Huge potential for good, huge potential for, well, not so good.
Yeah, both sides of the coin.
And the key takeaway, as Emma and Jordan made so clear, it seems to be the absolute necessity of being conscious, being deliberate in how you engage with it all.
Precisely. It's about intentionality. And this really leads to a crucial question, I think, for you, our listener. What does your relationship with technology actually look like right now?
Hmm.
We'd really encourage you to take some time, maybe after listening, just to think about how you're currently using these tools.
And how you could use them differently.
Exactly. How you might actively choose to use them in ways that truly support your own well-being and maybe even contribute positively to your life and the broader community around you.
It's about moving beyond just sort of reacting to the pings and notifications, isn't it?
Yes. Becoming an active participant in shaping technology's role in your world rather than just being shaped by it.